Hey team, I'm really looking forward to working with y'all this year, and I think it's important that we're all on the same page. So, first, starting out with what our goals are for teachers, identifying them, and growing great teachers, because as administrators, that's our purpose. That's what we're here for. So, I really want to make sure that we're all on the same page as for what my vision is for the campus, and then what my vision is for you as our assistant principals. The first thing I want to look at is what our three things are that we deal with working with teachers. One being the observation and looking at to see what our teachers are doing. What are we looking for? We're looking for learning. We're looking for student engagement. We're looking for quality strategies being used and high yield strategies that the teachers are reflecting on their data. They're looking to see what's happening in the class. They're using formative assessment. They are making the lessons relevant and real life, not just sticking to the textbook or to the curriculum, but they're taking it and tweaking it to make it effective for their kids. The next thing that we'd want to focus on is the diagnosis and the prescription. So if we see a teacher struggling, first and foremost, finding two different ideas. One, are we trying to decide if they're a keeper or do we need to get rid of them? And we're going to obviously handle those very differently. If we're keeping them, then I want us to ask ourselves this question: how can they grow? And if they can grow, are we helping them to grow? What resources are we providing them? What professional development do we have on campus? What are we doing as administrators to be true instructional leaders? And depending on the teacher, that's going to be different for each. Some teachers are going to be very intrinsically motivated, and they are already looking and searching for things that they want to grow in, and they know where they want to grow. So for those teachers, I would like you to help them as a support and be more of a coach for them, helping them find the resources they need, helping them bounce off ideas, or putting them in connection with the right people, letting them learn from their peers. Then we have those teachers who are very still learning their way and really struggling, and maybe we're not even sure if we're going to keep them. Those are the teachers that we're really going to want to be more directive with. We're going to talk to them about what exactly is happening, what is not happening. We're going to show them the data, where it's happening, where it's not happening, and where we want to go from this. Like, your students are not being successful, your strategies are not being successful. This is how we're going to deal with this. I know that probably sounds a little rough, but when it comes to a teacher that we're having to decide whether or not we're keeping them on our campus, then we may have to be more firm and more direct in our procedures. And then lastly, our supervision. What's our style? My hope for us as a campus is that we move between a directive supervision and an indirective supervision with goals towards collaboration. For the teachers who are just doing awesome and great things, I want us to be more indirective. Allow them to come up with their own goals, to formulate their own T-tests ideas, not us just feeding them this is what we want, and then helping them to find it. Or maybe not even helping them to find it, allowing them the time to go out and research and try their own things, and just kind of taking a more back look at it and just being supportive. And for those who are really struggling and need maybe a more direct approach, then we're taking that approach. So giving them a timeline, giving them a specific work plan. This is what I need to see happen. I'm wanting to see your lesson plans. I'm wanting to see your instructions. I think we have to find a way to mesh the two. So how do we know if that's happening? That's happening through our observations. We're making regular visits. We're seeing what we need to see or not seeing, and we're giving formative feedback in the beginning. This is some things that you can grow on. These are things where you are struggling. So how do we provide that? It really depends on the need of the teacher. Sometimes we're going to be very direct, and then sometimes it's going to be very teacher driven, and we're just going to sit back and just kind of listen and nod and make sure that they're having their own discovery. Some days we may be very systematic and rigid. This is what you will do today, and we will be doing multiple walkthroughs every day to make sure we're helping, and mostly so we're documenting. Or we might be very fluid and flexible, like they come with an idea, maybe they want to change their seating, maybe they want to try something new, okay, maybe they want to do a flipped classroom. Sure, you go for it, because they've already shown us that they can handle those things. We're either going to be very closely monitored, where we're just watching them, or we're going to take a step back and just kind of hang out in the shadows. Maybe we see them, maybe we don't. And then lastly, we're going to be the rules are going to be very data driven. This is what, according to studies, is the most effective way to teach these students versus a personal feeling and what they want to do. So a teacher may feel very inspired to try this new style. Okay, you've shown me that you have classroom management, that you have engagement, you know all these things. I think you can definitely handle trying something new. So we're kind of going to mesh between those two. I don't want every teacher to be directed and very strict and rigid, because I think that's going to drop morale, and no one wants to be feeling like they're constantly under a microscope or a magnifying glass. They want to have some freedom to show their own style and create their own creativity. And that's part of our job, is to help them do that and foster that. So if we're just hammering down on them every minute, we're not allowing that creativity. But if it's not happening, then we may have to keep in the reins from time to time.